James Wharton.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, honourable members from across the House have spoken eloquently about the strength of some of the local high streets in their constituencies across the country, and that what those high streets and town centres contribute to the economies in the communities that they represent. There is, in my constituency, a small town by the name of Yarm, which lies on the south bank of the River Tees. It is in the old North Riding of Yorkshire, and by accident of local government reorganisations, it finds itself in the borough of Stockton-on-Tees. That town has a vibrant high street. It has a range of independent shops. It has a strong community. It was, indeed, in 2007, voted by the BBC Breakfast Show to be the best high street in Britain, an accolade which it is very rightly proud of. And yet, to the great concern of local residents, the Borough Council has decided to interfere in business that is rightly otherwise seen to be that of the Yarm and its community and the town. There has been a long-running debate about parking and traffic through Yarm. It is a problem that the town faces, and the solution, which is universally agreed upon, must ultimately be one or more long-stay car parks, real long-term, long-stay parking provision for the town, to free up spaces on the high street for trade, for visitors. However, despite that long-running discussion, the Borough Council has decided to push ahead not with a long-stay parking solution, but with the introduction of parking charges. At this time of all times, Mr. Deputy Speaker, when we are seeing national reports that specifically recommend that free parking is a strong prerequisite driver for successful high streets, the Borough Council in Stockton is risking choking off the growth and success of one of its most successful market towns and local economic drivers, because it is failing to listen to what the community in that town says that they want and need.
Will my honourable friend give way?
Of course I'll give way to my honourable friend.
I thank my honourable friend for giving way. Does he not think, in my constituency of South Staffordshire, all the parking is free in all the villages and the community centres, whether that's Wombourne, Codsall and many more, and that creates vibrant, thriving local areas? Is this not a great contrast between a Tory-controlled council and a Labour-controlled Stockton?
My honourable friend is, of course, absolutely right. It is a Labour council that is driving forward parking charging proposals against the wishes of local people and the local community, and to the detriment of the economy in the town of Yarm, which I am proud to represent. I'll give way to the honourable member.
I'm very grateful. Would he have a word in the ear of his fellow Conservatives on Gloucestershire County Council in that case? Since they held a public consultation on imposing parking charges in the Montpellier shopping district of my constituency, in which nobody supported it, but they've imposed them anyway.
Well, my honourable friend is actually very lucky, because his council have had a consultation. We have had promises of consultation from Stockton Borough Council. What have we had in reality? An independent survey was commissioned, with the results of which are clearly and demonstrably flawed. An example being, it overestimates the value of the economy in the town by a factor of 3 times. The flawed survey was then presented to the town council. The town council sat and listened to the findings. They made their observations and they were told, thank you very much, but the report has already been written, but this counts as consultation in our book. Consultation, it seems, for Stockton Borough Council means deciding what you're going to do and then telling people about it, not actually seeking their opinions and their input so that you can develop a policy that has local support. Sadly, Mr. Deputy Speaker, these proposals and this report went through Stockton Borough Council's cabinet in December, just before Christmas. So what is happening now? Good, hard-working local councillors in Yarm and surrounding communities have signed the necessary forms to have that decision called into scrutiny. Andrew Sherris, Mark Chatburn, Ben Houchin, who are the borough councillors in Yarm, Phil Dennis, a borough councillor for the neighbouring town of Eaglescliffe, joined forces to call in that decision so that Stockton Borough Council will have the chance to look again, to think again, and to make a decision which better reflects the needs of the community that it is supposed to serve. Additionally, there has been a row running in the local paper. Everyone will be, I'm sure, greatly surprised at the thought that in the introduction of parking charges would excite a bit of a row in a local newspaper. But most specifically, one of the borough councillors, Mark Chatburn, raised his concern at the lack of consultation that had taken place before these proposals were pushed forward. And the council member, Mike Smith, on Stockton Borough Council, came forward and attacked that, saying there has been lots of consultation. We have consulted over an extended period of time. Well, all I can say to that cabinet member is, as somebody who has followed this closely and talking to Yarm and borough councillors in Yarm's borough and town councillors, talking to traders, talking to residents, they don't feel that any meaningful consultation has taken place at all. And had it done so, I can guarantee him he would be getting the message loud and clear that what they are proposing is not the right step for the future of that town. Last Thursday, there was a public meeting in Yarm to discuss the proposed changes. Around 250 members of the public came along on a cold Thursday night to attend that meeting, to make their concerns known and to discuss the proposals. I attended, local town councillors attended, Yarm's borough councillors attended, and borough councillors from neighbouring communities went along on a cross-party basis. Well, a coalition, I suppose. The Liberal Democrats turned up, the Conservatives turned up, the Labour Party did not send a representative, and more significantly, just as with in the chamber now, and more significantly, despite a request from town councillors, despite a request from borough councillors, despite a request from me personally to the Chief Executive, Stockton Borough Council refused to send a representative to that public meeting. They refused to listen to the concerns of the people they are supposed to be there to serve and represent. You will have gathered, Mr Deputy Speaker, that this is a matter of great concern to my constituents, particularly in Yarm and the surrounding communities where much traffic could be displaced if parking charges are introduced. It is a matter of concern not just because of the plans that are being put forward in the proposals, but because of the way it is being done, the high-handed and arrogant manner in which Stockton Borough Council is driving forward proposals without any consultation, against the will of local people. The way that officers on the council, Richard McGuckin, who heads the Highways Department, are listening solely to the cabinet members who control what they do, and then implementing those decisions against the will of local people. People in Yarm, a successful and vibrant market town in my constituency, Mr Deputy Speaker, are losing confidence in their borough council. They feel they have not been listened to. They feel that their views have not been properly taken into account, and they are worried that the decisions that are being taken now by others who are not representing their views are going to have a long-term detrimental impact on the communities in which they live. We have an opportunity, when this goes back to scrutiny on Thursday this week, when it is then hopefully referred again to Stockton Borough Council's Cabinet for the decision to be reconsidered, to change that and to put things right. I want to take this opportunity, in light of the report by Mary Portas, in light of parking being such an important issue in securing the long-term success of our high streets and town centres, I want to take this opportunity to ask Stockton Borough Council to think again and to warn those cabinet members of Stockton Borough Council that if they do not think again, the people of Yarm, the traders of Yarm, will not forgive them.
George Eustace.
Thank you, Mr Deputy Speaker.